how to convert a needle knitting pattern to the loom. For today's tutorial, you will need a sheet of graph paper, a pen or pencil, your needle knitting pattern. Today we will be converting a pattern for a cabled moss stitch. You can find the needle pattern as it was originally written in the description box below so that you can follow along with us in the tutorial. And our loom knitting conversion chart, which you can download your own copy of on our website using the link at the bottom of the screen. In today's tutorial, I want to do a quick demonstration of how to transfer your needle knitting patterns over to a loom knitting pattern, and it's really pretty simple. When you're working a needle knitting pattern on the needles, you are alternating between the wrong and right side of your work, whereas with the loom, you're always going to be working your right side. So you need to take those rows that are worked on the wrong side on the needle knitting pattern and convert them to their right side equivalent. And we have a couple tools on our website to help you with this. The biggest one is our Loom knitting conversion chart. I have it right here. It just basically gives you the equivalent. So when you're looking at your needle knitting pattern, it will show you the wrong side stitch. You're just going to convert that to the right side stitch on this side. So it's really pretty simple. We're expanding this list as much as we can, but for right now it's going to cover most of your needle knitting patterns. The other thing that I'm going to use is a graph paper. I find it easiest to take my needle knitting patterns and convert them to a graph rather than just writing them out. So that's what we're going to do today. And then I also have on our website, we have a code that we commonly use in our patterns that you can download if you want to look to see why we're using a certain symbol in our conversion. And so you can kind of follow along with us. So I'm basically going to be converting a pattern for a cabled moss stitch. It's basically just this diamond stitch with or a diamond cable with a moss stitch in the middle of the diamond. We'll do a tutorial on the actual stitch later, but for now I just want to show you how you can convert the pattern. So the pattern that shows up for the needle knitting pattern, it's going to be down at the bottom of the page or of the video here, so you can follow along with what I'm seeing and how I'm converting it to my graph paper here for the loom. So this pattern is worked over 13 stitches on a background of reverse stockinette stitch. We're just going to show the pattern here. We're not going to account for any of the reverse stockinette stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to just mark off 13 blocks. I'm just going to count them by putting little numbers in the blocks. So 2, 3, 4, and this just helps me keep track of where I am. I think it's kind of helpful. And then I'll usually do the same thing down the row. So this is going to be 28 rows. All right. Once I've marked off my rows and my columns here, I can get started on transferring the pattern. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to, but I find it easier to follow along and keep track of where I'm at if I do this first. So now we're going to start working on transferring the cable moss stitch pattern. The first row on this pattern, the odd rows are the right side. So the first row is going to be a right side row. And all you're going to do on those is just transfer them as they are. You don't need to do any conversion, anything like that. You can just transfer it right onto the graph paper as it is. So the first row in this pattern is purl 3, twist 3 back, knit 1, twist 3 front, and purl 3. So we're just going to write it as is. Purl 3, I use a P for purl. Twist 3 back, I use this cool little, I think it means about equal to, but it helps me remember what I'm doing. So I use these signs right here. And again, you can find the signs that we're using on our blog. There's a whole chart of the signs we use, and you can kind of see how we do it. And then the next one is knit 1, and then twist 3 front, which is the exact opposite, and then purl 3. And then I draw a block around these because it helps me to remember that that's 3 stitches. And then the second row is one that we need to convert. So on the second row, it's written as knit 3, purl 2, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 2, knit 3. So we're going to basically use our little conversion chart here. You can see the purl stitches you convert to knit stitches you convert to purl stitches. Most of your patterns are really going to be some kind of combination of these stitches, and you won't need to go much into the rest of these here, but they're there for you if you need them. Because majority of patterns I come across, most of the complicated stitches are on the right side rows, so you rarely come across ones that are written on the wrong side row that you need to convert, but it does happen, so it's worth knowing how to do. So on this pattern, we're going to convert the first 3, which is knit 3, so that's going to be converted to purl 3. And that next one is purl 2, which will be converted to knit 2. And we're going to convert all the stitches across, doing the exact opposite. And there you go, that's your first row of converted stitches. Now what I like to do is I actually go through first and do all of the odd or the right side rows so that I don't get confused on which rows I'm converting and which rows are staying the same. It honestly is easier to do it that way. So I'll first go through and do all the right side rows, which I'm going to do here real quick. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've done all of the odd numbered rows or the right side rows, and now I'm going to go back through and all the remaining rows have to be converted because they're the even side rows. So I'll start with row 4 again. So row 4 reads knit 2, purl 2, and then in parentheses knit 1, purl 1, repeat that twice, and then knit 1, purl 2, knit 2. So what we're going to do is convert that. So the first one, knit 2, we're going to change to purl 2. The next one is purl 2, which we're going to change to knit 2. And then our repeat, which is knit 1, purl 1, we're going to change to a repeat of purl 1, knit 1. So purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, since we're repeating it twice. And then the next one, knit 1, which will be transferred to purl 1. And then we're going to transfer the next 2. Just like that. And then we'll continue on. So this is row 6. You can read the pattern at the bottom of the screen as I convert it. Alright, we'll do it one more time with row 8 so you can see. Alright, and I'm going to continue doing this all the way down the entire pattern. And there you have it. The entire pattern has been converted. And you can kind of see the way we do our symbols kind of shows you the pattern of the diamond. So you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. But in general, that's how you transfer a pattern from a needle knitting pattern to the loom in a really quick and easy way. And then we'll do one with a little bit more of a complex pattern later on. But this is just really a very basic conversion. Want more loom knitting tutorials? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow our blog at vintagestorehouse.com to get new videos and posts sent right to your inbox. Thanks for watching!